A4 security clearance personnel hold.
Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're in San Antonio. We're not at the Homestead, and we're going to do a very special video for you guys. One of my favorite movies of all time was Cloak and Dagger as a child, and now my kids have gotten to see that movie and they really enjoy it. And so we're at a number of the on-scene, the locations where they filmed that movie, and we're going to try to reenact some of the movie for you guys. Go to some of the places where they filmed it, and then, you know, check it out, and then have my kids stand in for some of the places where the kids in the movie were actually at. If you don't know, Cloak and Dagger was filmed in 1985, was a great kids movie. I watched it all growing up. It's one of the very few movies today I would still highly recommend for you to watch with your family. It's pretty family friendly, so it gets a thumbs up from me.
The Japanese sunken gardens?
Yeah.
Good. We'll meet you there at noon.
So I just wanted to give you a summary. I read the history of this place on the plaque, and I thought it was really interesting because it explains the difference of names. The sign above me says Chinese Tea Garden, but the official name of the place is Japanese Tea Garden. So what's the difference there? Well, just reading the history of the place was really interesting because in the early 1900s, this was a cement quarry, and San Antonio wanted to beautify this place, so they hired a Japanese artist, and he was the one that created the tea garden here. He built this house and moved his family into this cute little brick cottage up there. It's adorable. And he and his family lived here as keepers of the garden until the 40s. Of course, we all know what happened. World War II, Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. At that time, his family was forced to move because of the persecution of the Japanese in America. So at that time is when San Antonio decided to make this garden the Chinese tea garden. So they actually hired a Mexican sculptor to create what is behind me. This is the arch leading into the garden, hence the Chinese tea garden. Of course, in that time of history, Americans didn't want to have anything to do with the Japanese, and so to remove that stigma, they changed the name to the Chinese Tea Garden. In the 80s is when they changed the name back to the Japanese Tea Garden, but the sculpture is still here. So that's the discrepancy, and that's a little bit of history lesson for you. You know, I like history lessons. So there you go.
Come any closer and you're gonna be diving for it.
I went a little longer.
am I glad to see you. Boy, am I glad to see you.
Thank you. Enjoy your ride. Thank you. Enjoy your ride.
One adult, 2 children. Why don't you guys sit down and quit rocking the boat?
Where's the Linda? Okay, so I was just talking to the guy who was inside this ticket booth here, and he's telling me that there was an old company that used to do this and they don't do it anymore. I mean, the boats are the same, and they're the same color as another YouTuber who was here not that long ago, and he saw these boats, you know, like this boat right here, and they were painted the same color, but the guy says that they don't run it anymore. There's not one called Linda. So I have no idea if we'll find that exact boat. They've changed the entire outside of the ticket counter, so everything is completely different. So I guess we won't find Linda from Cloak and Dagger. I guess they've retired it. I don't know. They ought to bring Linda back. Somebody start a campaign, bring Linda back. Anyway, so we're down here, and I was just telling the camera that they think they retired Linda. They don't have Linda anymore. That was a different company. A couple years ago, they changed over.
Oh, somebody told you that?
That's what the guy in the ticket counter told me. Nobody around here really seems to know anything or care. They don't care that this gigantic piece of movie history is missing and no one can find it.
Why don't you guys sit down and quit rocking the boat?
1,329,000. That's it.
There almost every day during the summer months.
George.
What?
Look.
For something? Oh, yeah, that smells good. Someone's trying to kill me.
There's people trying to kill me.
Hey, Ricey, what's the matter? Can't shoot straight? Hey, Ricey, what's the matter? Can't shoot straight?
Don't chicken out now, come on.
Come back, I can't do it on my own.
Yes, you can. You were always on your own.
Well, there you go. We're back on the homestead, and we had a great time there. It was a fun shoot. The kids really liked it. I liked it. It was, you know, just going back to all the childhood memories, watching that movie, and actually being on scene for some of those shots was truly incredible. And so had a great time. A couple of the shots did not take, like at the end of the scene, you know, the end of the clips or end of the movie where the guy is in the tunnel and gets hit by his partner in the back and falls next to that tree. I found that exact same tree and tried to do a video of me falling too, and it didn't take on the camera. So by the time I got home and started doing the editing, that shot was gone, and I don't know why. So some of the shots didn't take. There were a couple of others who didn't work out either, but it was cool. I found that exact same tree, and I wanted to do that shot, but I couldn't get. For some reason, the camera didn't take it. Also, the whole thing with Linda and the boats. If you've never been there, all of the boats are named after women's names. So like there used to be just first names. Now they're titled with the names. So like Miss Linda or Miss Kay or Miss, just whatever women's name that the boats were named after. Miss Sally. So the boats are all named after women. And we looked for like 2 afternoons straight. The first day we got there late in San Antonio, went right down to the Riverwalk and we started looking at the boats. Saw lots of boats. Did not see Miss Linda, and my boys were really trying to check the names of every single boat and couldn't find Miss Linda. So, there was a YouTuber, his name was Adam the Woo, and he was there a couple years ago, and Miss Linda was still in service. But I'm telling you, we searched for 2 days. We did not see Miss Linda in service at all while we were there. And, you know, it is what it is. Maybe someone will see her. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, I talked to the guy at the ticket counter. And he said about 2 years ago, a new company took over and they made some changes. So I don't know why anyone would change getting rid of that boat or changing the name of the boat to a different name. Maybe she's still in service and it's just a different name. I don't know. But I couldn't find Miss Linda. So if you go to San Antonio and you see Miss Linda, please post a comment below. Let me know. You know, the search for Linda is on. So we'll make that a thing. And Adam the Woo did a good job making his own video of going to San Antonio and visiting all of the different places of the movie. And maybe that'll be a thing with YouTube. A lot of people we talked to down there had heard of Cloak and Dagger and knew the movie, you know, even back in the 1980s that it was filmed. And there's a lot of people. It's I wouldn't call it a cult classic, but it's a mini cult classic. There's people out there who are fans of this movie who watched it as kids growing up, and they remember it down in the Riverwalk and down at different places around San Antonio. And so the people at the information center, a lot of people knew about this movie. A lot of people didn't, but so I don't know, maybe call it a mini cult classic, I don't know. Either way, it was a fun time to shoot. You know, disappointed I didn't get to see the Linda boat, and disappointing some of my shots didn't turn out, but other than that, it turned out great. Hey guys, listen, if you enjoyed this video, check out this list of amazing folks. These are our patrons. They make all of our videos possible. We couldn't do what we do here without them. You can check out more information at patreon.com/AnAmericanHomestead to see all the benefits. Other than that, be sure to like, subscribe, check us out over on Steemit. This will be posted on Steemit along with some other pictures from our trip, so you don't want to miss that. And hit those videos on the left, hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you next time on American Homestead.